everybody. It's Mark the Monster here from the tSayTheFWord podcast. It's Thursday morning. I'm gonna do morning coffee on my own here. I'm gonna well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to call Busted Open Radio. I'm gonna see if they'll put a monster on the phones with Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray. We'll see if I don't know. Maybe I can just sound off about it. Maybe Nigel versus Bryan Danielson can help Tony Khan really put some fire behind the Ring of Honor brand. I don't know. Let's see. I'm just gonna call. I'm gonna call him and see what happens.
Well, we have some good news for you. Introducing DuckDuckGo, the all-in-one browser and search engine that's here to protect your online privacy like never before.
Hey, this is Gentleman Jerry Coon. My favorite way to listen to Sirius XM Fight Nation is through the new Sirius XM app.
What's going on, world? This is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and I listen to Fight Nation on the new Sirius XM app. And you should do it too.
Seems like I'm not getting through here. They are just busy. Boy, I guess a lot of people are probably calling. Joe. Hey, Joe, how's it going? I can't get through the Busted Open this morning, Joe. Their line's busy.
Hi, it's Sherry Harris, owner of Life Source Water. Our salt-free systems filter water from every tap in your home, unlike softeners, which add sodium to your water.
Still busy.
Filtering it.
Should I just keep calling back?
There is never any regular maintenance, filters to change, or salt to buy. We build, install, and stand behind every single system, and we always will. Call us at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource.
Oh my God. How? Maybe they don't have. Maybe their phone's been shut off. Give them 5 minutes, Joe. I don't got 5 free minutes. I'm a busy man. I am a busy man this morning. I just wanted to call and talk to Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca about Nigel versus Bryan Danielson. That's all I wanted to do. Just wanted to get my thoughts. Maybe, there's just things I want to say, and I don't know why no one's talking about the damn bag. The bag is the thing that I want people to, we have a shirt. We have a shirt that says Pro Wrestling for the Sickos, and it's got the shopping bag on it. So, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Cause he's crazy. Dave LaGreca wants his wrestling the way he wants it, and he won't listen to anyone. Maybe we go to the nation, cause he's a son of a gun.
Oh, that's Tommy.
Joe, are you excited to see Nigel versus Bryan Danielson in New York?
I enjoyed that immensely. That was very good, Tommy.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
They are still busy, Joe.
Just so maybe you can hear this argument a little better. I would use the music reference not as a taunt to fight a person. I would use
Why are you upset at the tag match? Joe, why would the tag match be upsetting for you?
If you like this match,
Everyone should be live on Instagram with me.
this is what it's going to be. If, because again, I can only talk from experience. I did not know.
It's cool that Nigel gets to wrestle again. I wonder if it's just going to be just this match.
If I could have told the world, this is the last time you're going to hear this song.
They are still, Busted Open is still busy.
That's all.
How come Jeremy gets through whenever he calls?
Getting what the beauty of the Sandman shirt.
It doesn't make any sense that he would get through and I can't.
You have to be.
Seems to me that they just don't like puppets.
But I'm not going to say, hey, Raven, let's fight. I'm going to come out to this music, you come out to that. I'm going to say, and oh, by the way, if you think this match, we're going to go old school.
I feel like it's discriminatory, Joe.
This is what we're doing because my boss licensed that.
That's just my opinion.
Or you're gonna hear this
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
last time. Hence why I feel it could be a runoff. Because I don't know if you want to spend that money for a commentator.
I think there's a good opportunity for Tony Khan to really showcase why Nigel hates Bryan Danielson from Ring of Honor.
But here's my other part where I
Think that'd be a good thing for him to do.
This the day before that show. I'm getting
Now, whether or not he will, that remains to be seen.
Ospreay and his tag team partner. I can't remember his name right now because I'm so
Kyle
fast.
Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher. Friggin' awesome match. Do I still try to understand why Don Callis is with Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher?
Makes no sense to me, brother. Like,
And then I also saw
Still busy, Joe. It's still busy.
Step up.
Kesha.
Takesha, Takshita, I apologize.
Two things that, and then when you say enter the
I don't think I'm going to get through
It's not enter
to bust it open at all today.
Sandman. So, well, I was actually a name of the team. That's why I remember it. So,
Joe, you want to just come in here and talk to me?
those
So
names.
I don't think I'm going to get through busted open.
So, now, do I understand?
No, it's important. It's important. I love the Motorhead version of Enter Sandman because that's the one that was on the ECW album. Right? There was the Motorhead version that was on the ECW album.
That and
I think
the Zoo by
I don't know. I'm a little confused from Dynamite last night, and maybe I missed stuff. I don't know. But, like, why? How does Darby Allin even still have a title shot? I don't understand that at all.
are going. You want to be there because of that. There was
I thought since he got beat by Jack Perry, that was why Jack Perry got to face Bryan Danielson. Is that not what? Is that not how that was explained? I feel like that's how I understood the situation.
right now. That's a hell of a show.
Hell yeah. Of course, it's a great show.
So I got what I wanted right from there. How they got there, some little bit of better explanation.
Yeah, you think?
They are still busy on Busted Open.
That show still.
I really should have let Jeremy handle this morning. He would have got
So I
through.
don't know if because even Will Ospreay was like, bruv, I got a lot of stuff going. Don Callis, I don't understand why you're here. Well, we gotta try to make sense.
Literally still busy. This is.
Last night's Dynamite.
I may have wasted my beauty sleep.
Mad Libs. Remember Mad Libs? We'd have all those like blanks, and you try to fill in the blank. And sometimes it would be something good, sometimes it would be funny, sometimes it would be.
We're gonna give him another call back.
Last night's Dynamite was like Mad Libs.
Busted Open's phone is still busy. There's literally no way. How do they not have call waiting?
I
Is
can't
my
believe
question.
I can't believe that Will Ospreay with Don Callis is still a thing. I mean,
I agree. Okay, so right now Dave LaGreca's talking about can't believe that Will Ospreay and
Don Callis
is
you
still
can
a
make
thing.
the claim Don Callis is the most hated man in
It makes
AEW,
no sense.
And Will
I
Ospreay is the
agree.
most
Big
loved
guy
man
Jeremy can't
in
stand
AEW.
Don Callis.
How are they still together? How is
I
that
don't.
still a
How is
thing?
Will Ospreay still
How
involved
is
with Don
that-
Callis?
How is that a thing?
Joe, you got any idea how that's a
Christian is the
thing?
most hated man in AEW. John
Panther.
Moxley.
Hey, Panther.
is
Thanks for checking it
getting
out.
up there,
This is
trying,
Morning Coffee with
and
Mark the
Don
Monster.
Callis is a man who
Right now
gets
it's just
heat,
me.
but has
I was trying to call Busted
no-
Open,
Don Callis
see
is
if
one
they
of the
put me on
most
the air.
hated men in
And
AEW.
Correct.
their
I'm
phone's
talking
busy.
about current, but has
I
no
don't really
real
understand how their phone's
direction
busy, but it's
of
busy.
Where his
So
with the
it's
whole
just Mark the
Callis
Monster.
family all
I don't know if Joe joined.
Yes.
Jeremy's working.
makes no
Joe's
sense.
working.
correct.
Okay,
So it's the
well,
Mark the
I wanted to
Monster
make sure
show.
you're on board with the whole. Not
No,
making
that
sense.
I'm 100% sure, and
Yeah.
not because
I'm gonna
I
try
like
calling-
Don
I'm gonna
Callis,
try
but
calling
Don
Busted
Callis
Open
is a heel
again.
With, I mean, even the guys he manages.
At
don't
this
get
rate,
heat.
I think if I even get
So
through, I'm going to be on
that's a
hold
whole
for
other
4
story,
days.
because they are so good at wrestling. There's no like move set where boo that
Seriously,
and they're
they
great
are.
wrestlers.
Their phone line is still busy.
Different.
But while we got free time,
don't
I mean,
get
everyone can
the
go.
old
They can check out
with the elite. I mean,
our merch
the
table
fans love
by
Okada.
Mark the Monster
Every time
shirt.
he comes on
I'm
the
going to
screen,
put out
like, if they're
Puppet
trying
World
to get
Order
heat,
shirts
like,
soon.
having Okada, like,
So
the
make
fans
sure you
love Okada.
stick around, stay tuned. We're gonna put those out.
They
Maybe
make a lot of sense.
this weekend. Maybe we can get Puppet
That
World
makes a lot
Order
of sense.
shirts on the site this
Makes a lot of
weekend.
sense.
Okada
We
is
do have
adverb.
some other cool
Hey,
stuff.
guys,
You can also,
I'm on the 10.
it's morning coffee.
Facing Brian Daniels.
I would be remiss if
No,
I
you're
didn't
not.
mention that you can save
Unable to
10%
compete.
on your coffee from
Not
Prince Down on
happening. That's just
Coffee.
not happening.
Promo code
Oh,
Don't Say
shit.
the F
Right,
Word
Brian
saves
Daniels,
10%.
get it.
Fresh roasted
the plastic
coffee.
bag over his head. He's fucked up from that.
Panthers
Won't be
getting
able
ready
to
for work
compete
too.
in Queens.
You know what? I feel
completely
bad for all you
understand.
humans
And
out there. You guys
Nigel
gotta have
McGinnis comes along,
jobs.
You know what I want?
This is all I gotta
want
do. I just do the
Brian Daniels
podcast
in 2 weeks.
thing.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, mate, we already made
I mean,
a graphic.
I have
Thank you for
freelanced
that. We
in the
already have
past.
a graphic of this match on the back. To
You
the
may have
fact
seen
that
me
they
other
show it on
places.
the
I can't
screen
really mention
when
it.
even
I had to
said
sign
that.
an NDA.
It's not official
But yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Gotta wait for
I don't gotta
Brian.
like
Fuck it,
go
we made the
anywhere
graphic.
and
We're putting it up
you
there.
know
Think
do
I
something.
spent all that time
It's
making
worth
the
a mention.
graphic, and we're
Like
not gonna put it on
Jeremy
the
and Joe,
screen?
they don't go anywhere for their
Wait,
work
you wanna-
either.
you wanna put that
Postseason
up?
tickets.
They act like they
I
work
didn't
so
make
hard.
this just for
They're working
Rampage
from
and
home.
Collision. This is
Bunch of
fucking going on
jabronis.
Dynamite. Motherfuck that.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is going
gee.
on Dynamite.
I don't know,
don't give a
Dave
shit if
LaGreca
it's
just used
official
the
yet
mother
or not.
F word.
Put the graphic up there,
He-
and they did.
Filthy mouth, human.
Yankees
They
got
did.
I don't
postseason
understand.
tickets.
He's
Put out those
an angry
postseason
person.
tickets.
At Dave
May
LaGreca.
not make it, but still gonna put them out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, listen.
Yeah, mood
A lot
swings,
of
something
confidence
crazy.
there. But
He's hopped up on
I mean, I was like,
goofballs.
wait, what? What's going on here?
Oh,
Told
hey,
this guy
I'll
who
show you
wasn't
guys these
happy, he was
things. You got-
unable to compete. Well, you were listening to
Mhm,
Moxley. You shouldn't
mhm.
listen to Moxley. What's going on here? That's what a heel does.
We got
He's
folding
live.
chair
Tony-
phone
Tony Khan's
stands.
laughing. He's laughing.
Works with any phone.
He's laughing in the back.
But
But it's
Grizzly
great.
Smith was the matchmaker in UWF.
UWF.
Who was the other guy? Dude?
Landscape
I can't
or
remember
portrait.
His name. He was the boss.
You put your phone on there.
It was Bill Watts. Grizzly Smith was the
Got
matchmaker.
the
Grizzly
thumbnail
Smith,
logo,
Let's be this,
QR code, all that good
I
stuff.
thought you were talking about Herb Abrams UWF because this is closer to that.
The car scene with Jericho was, great throwback to Stone Cold and the cement truck with Vince, right? I mean, that's what I saw that as.
WWE shit.
Definitely seemed like they were just throwing it back to that.
I just want it to make sense. I love
Just
AEW.
funny.
Tommy,
It's
you're
even
the
funnier
man.
to think that
Like,
Jericho
if you
still
go
has
into my closet
the
right now,
jacket that got covered in orange juice.
50% of
He acts
my
like
shirts
orange is a bad color.
Our AEW shirts.
Like, I'm orange. It
and
works
then
for me.
probably 40% is like old school shirts, and then 10% is WWE.
Taz-
The WWE
Taz loves
shirts
orange.
are just not shit quality. AEW, I like that.
I wonder if Taz is a fan of mine. I wonder if, like, do I have heat with Taz
I
because I'm
love
orange?
AEW.
It's a good question, right? I'm about
But
to
right
ask.
now, I feel like AEW. It's like, listen, Tommy. When the Cowboys were 1-15, I still
Trying to
loved
get
the Cowboys.
press credentials to go to some AEW
But
events. Maybe I can
was
ask.
Like, man, I was
Maybe I
realistic.
can
was
ask
like, man, come on, we
Taz
gotta
if
make
it's
some
okay that
changes
I'm
here.
orange.
We got to make some
That'd
changes
be-
here because we're
I hope he
losing.
doesn't have any beef. I don't want to
This
get
is a
suplexed
winning
or anything.
organization. At one point, AEW was a winning organization. They're losing now because some of the decisions they're making are just plain bad. You got to stop making bad decisions. Because
I
when
don't
you
know
make
if I
bad
agree
decisions,
that
you lose.
AEW is a losing
AEW
company
is
now,
losing
like Dave
viewers.
McGregor saying.
They're losing people going to stadiums and going to arenas to watch their product. The talent is there. Everything is there that you need to succeed.
They're still
How do I
busy.
know,
I'm
Tommy?
busted
Because
open.
at one point they were succeeding. I want them to succeed. I don't want AEW to fail. You think?
All right.
At one
Panther, your
point,
favorite color is orange?
Tommy,
That's awesome.
Dynamite was my favorite show to watch every week.
You know,
That is not the
you
case.
could
And it
always pick
hasn't
yourself
been the
up
case
a Mark
in a
the
very
Monster
long time.
emotional
And I gotta
support
be fair,
monster
Tommy,
shirt
when
at the merch
Monday
table.
Night Raw
I'm
was
orange.
shit. And believe me, for a lot
Somewhere
of the
around here, I
15
made
years
buttons.
that I did
I
this
made
show,
buttons with that.
Monday
If
Night
you ever
Raw
see us
was
out
shit.
and about, you can
I
always
used to
ask me
host
for a button.
Raw
I have
Rehab
one stashed
on
somewhere. I got
Tuesday
smuggled
mornings
in
where
places.
We would just go
You'd be
back
amazed what I
and
can
just
get
talk
into a
about
place.
all the casualties that we saw from Monday Night Raw the night before. It's not the case right now. Monday Night Raw is great.
Yeah, they're talking.
AEW
Dave McGregor talking
Dynamite
about
used to
Monday
be-
Night
I
Raw
want
is
it to
great.
be where
And
it
he's
was,
just,
Tommy.
I don't
I'm
know.
rooting for AEW. But if I don't bring up the things that are going wrong, then
Joe,
I'm
my
an
ego's not
asshole.
okay. Live in the comments
When
on
you're in a
Instagram,
relationship with
illegal
somebody
brother-in-law Joe
and there's
telling
things
Panther
that are
not
happening
to let my
that you
ego
don't
get
like,
bigger.
you don't keep
Listen,
your mouth shut.
this
You
is
don't
the
sweep it
Mark
under
the
the
Monster
rug.
Morning Coffee
Then it never
episode of Don't Say
changes.
the F Word.
Then it becomes
It's all me
toxic.
This is just, it's my show today, brother.
How do you fix those things?
And
by communicating, by talking.
it's not about ego, Joe.
That's
It's
how you
not
fix
ego,
issues.
all
That's
right?
how you fix problems.
It's about
the
being
reason I come on the
a
air
star.
and I talk
I'm a star.
about these things.
I have.
I want
How
them
many
to be
shirts do you have
fixed.
on the
If
merch
I
table,
kept
Joe?
my mouth
You got
shut,
one.
then I'm an asshole.
There's one
then
Joe
I'm
shirt.
the asshole.
I mean, okay, we can count the.
You gotta talk
I'll count the
about
thumbnail
it. Let's
shirt
talk
because
about
you're
it
on
together.
there.
Everybody
You got
who listens
Mystic
to the
Joe.
show, Tommy.
The Mystic Joe
Everybody
shirt,
who
you
calls
staring
it
into your
are
crystal
pro
ball.
wrestling
That's
fans.
available for purchase. But
We
I
want
have
AEW to succeed.
There's the
I
Mark
wanna
the
be
Monster
excited
emotional
again
support
when
monster
it's 8
shirt.
o'clock on a Wednesday.
There's the Mark the Monster.
I gotta tell you,
I
lately,
have
haven't been
ADHD.
excited
That's
at 8
attention
o'clock on
deficit.
Wednesdays.
Hey, donuts.
I
That
wanna
shirt.
be
That
excited
shirt's
again.
available.
Am I wrong thinking that way?
I
And that's not a
don't
hater.
know
That's
if
called, I'm
do a
a lover.
moonsault jelly roll is
I'm
still
not a
there.
hater. I'm a lover. I love AEW. If I
know
didn't
Big
love
Guy
AEW,
told everyone yesterday,
then I would just
good
sweep
chance
all
it was gonna
this
be
shit
gone.
under the rug
And
ignore
yeah,
it
it might.
and pretend
I don't know.
like it
I'll
wasn't
check
there.
later. If
I'm
somebody's
not
out there and they
gonna-
want to
I'm
go try
not
to
gonna
buy
do
it,
that,
go try to
Tom.
buy it. See if it's still
I'm
there.
not doing it. I'm not doing it. And if you want
Quantities
to
were
call me a
limited,
hater,
and
go ahead
it
and
was
call me a
expected
hater.
to last
I'm
till the
doing
end of
it for the
September.
greater good.
Does not
I'm
seem
doing it for the
that was
greater
going to be the
good.
case.
And Brian
Yeah.
Danielson and Nigel McGuinness
Guys may have
need
missed the
more than
boat.
just
Maybe
a
I could.
one-week
Maybe we
build.
could pull it out of the vault. I don't know. If there's a
That's
demand, I
bullshit.
don't know.
That's
I feel like
that's
do a
bullshit.
moonsault jelly roll was just a summertime SummerSlam thing, right? I mean, I don't know.
Let's go to Terry in Nebraska. Good morning, Terry.
Yeah. If I had to,
Good morning, guys.
my ego might get bigger if I was seeing people walking around and do a moonsault jelly roll. If I had one, but I just rock my Puppet World Order shirt. That's my go-to wardrobe. I could probably get something else done. I don't know. This is the one I've had this on for a long time. It's comfortable for me.
The Moxley angle, I don't think anybody
I like
thinks
being
that
comfortable.
McGuinness is going to go in and win because Moxley
It's nice.
is
It's
going to
soft.
beat Darby.
It's real
Get
soft,
his
and I
shot at
really wore
Danielson.
that logo in
Should
too.
have done something like
It's not too crisp and fresh.
wait for that match, the Moxley.
You know, sometimes you get a shirt and it's like this
and have
image.
McGuinness be
It's so
on-
crispy.
on
I gotta wear this a
commentator.
lot to get this thing
And
comfy.
if
I'm gonna try to call him Busted Open again.
and then have his
Some
goons
dude's
come out
talking
and start
about
beating up
how much he
Danielson.
loves the Mox angle.
McGuinness, get up from the announcer table, go in, clean house, grab the microphone, and say, nobody's going to take out Danielson.
Oh, we're
but
ringing.
me, and then proceed to pummel him. That's what I wanted to see.
I mean, I agree with you.
All right, no problem.
I agree with you, Terry, and thanks for the phone call. That the big story that they're building up is Moxley, Brian Danielson. Obviously, that's the big story. That's probably the paper.
And then you build on that story. What's the rush? Why are we rushing? Why do you feel like you have to run towards the finish line? You don't need to do that.
Well, I mean, what if when Brian Danielson loses, he's basically retired, correct? You're trying to maybe squeeze this match in as a one-off? And also, Dave, let me just ask you this. You would say ECW One Night Stand 2005 was one of your...
Busted Open, thanks for holding. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, my name's Mark the Monster. I'm calling from Cleveland, and I'm a puppet.
What can I do for you, Mark?
I would love to talk to Tommy and Dave just about the overall Ring of Honor implications of Bryan Danielson versus Nigel. You know, could this be an opportunity for Tony Khan to do something more with Ring of Honor? Could he get more eyes on that product?
Okay. Hang on, Mark, okay?
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Doing this with no build. And you brought up a great example. That show had a 1 week build. But I just asked you the question, you answered it. 100% you would have wanted that show to have more than a one. Imagine the stories you could have told, Tommy. Because it's the same situation, right, Tommy? WWE owned ECW. Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. So it's apples to apples. But you just answered the question, Tommy, just like me. 100% you would have wanted a bigger build than just a 1 week build. That's what I'm saying here. Listen, it's happening, but 100% I would want a bigger build between Nigel and Bryan Danielson.
Well, and like the music thing, man, we fought so
I mean,
hard.
that makes a lot of sense. A bigger build does make a lot of sense.
You that one Enter the Sandman, when it was played, it's never on any DVD. It's never played. The replay right after didn't have it. But what I'm saying is, like, yes, there's 100 other ways to get to where you want to go, but at least we got there. So if he has this match of his life, then maybe he's going to get another match. But is also, if Bryan's going to retire, and Bryan will retire this year because he's not going to hold the title all year. I mean,
oh man, he could hold the title all year.
Then what?
I would love to see that.
You got to try to squeeze. You got to try to squeeze the match in. Trust me.
But all right. But why do it at Grand Slam? Like you just said, that tag match is going to be outstanding. This is, by the way,
also
Grand
to help
Slam's not a
sell
pay-per-view.
tickets.
All right, but Grand Slam's not a pay-per-view. It's a Dynamite. It's a Dynamite.
That's true.
Sell tickets and get people to watch your show.
Okay, well, don't you think Darby Allin and Jon Moxley and what we're going to see with the Young Bucks and Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, you're going to tell me those two matches won't be able to do that for you?
I don't think they could.
Okay. Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman versus the Dudleys. We had Lance Storm, Chris Jericho, I believe, opened the show. So you don't mean Chris Jericho and Lance Storm's first ever. Like, these are all dilemmas that you have to come with when you're thinking about it. Rey Mysterio Psychosis, friggin' Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. We crammed everything to the point where one match had to get cut or two matches had to get cut because we didn't have room for them. So what I'm saying is, yes, like, I understand that point of I also only have 2 hours of television, which is like an hour of 38 of actual matches.
If you're lucky, it's that long.
So I have 3 matches. I don't know, hey man, just because you've been wrestling in front of, at a wrestling school, you're not wrestling in front of people, you could get blown up, blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving you 30. I give you 15, tops 20, and give you the option. Hey,
that might be a long time to give a new guy.
Go home early,
really?
Go home early. Because also, I don't know how old Nigel is. And like I said, these are like all things that you as an owner, booker, have to take into consideration. I agree. If it's just a one-off and Nigel's not going to be a wrestler again,
that's a real question
I don't
there.
have a problem.
Is Nigel just going to do a one-off? Is this just
like
this match?
Said, I don't know about the matches. I would like to be told about it, but I also then could also tune into Digital, Rampage, Collision, and another Dynamite to get to. They're getting more build, actually, than what was a very, very successful show, ECW 1 in 2005. A straight-up one-off.
Paul, you wanted to add something quick?
Well, if you're
That's true.
I think you both might be right. You both might be tied. Like, Tommy brought up the great point. All right, you got Wrestle Dream in October, which is in Seattle. But if Daniels is doing the retirement tour, he wants Nigel on it. So Nigel can suit up for one match, never wrestle again, go back to commentary, everybody wins. But Dave, you're also right.
That could work.
That's too big of a match to do a one-off.
And now, so how about this? For Wrestle Dream, we all were saying Swerve. How come it can't now be Darby?
It could be Moxley.
Could be
I
Mox.
think it most likely will be Moxley.
But, I mean, that doesn't even make any
Here's the thing,
sense.
If, let's just say we got Moxley, and it's Moxley, Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream, and Moxley beats Bryan Danielson, and Bryan Danielson's forced to retire, and that's the last we see of Bryan Danielson in the ring, I'll go back and I'll say, you know what? I kind of understand what they did. I still don't agree with it, but I kind of understand what they did because the clock was ticking. But if Bryan Danielson continues to be your champion after Wrestle Dream, I really have no idea why they did what they did.
I guess I get that.
I would be like, shit, I just don't get it.
Joe, stop
Why
calling
rush
for him to
something
retire.
where you can let something play out. That's just me. And the way they did it makes absolutely no sense. That you cancel one match with the number one contender and are giving a match to somebody who hasn't had a singles match in years. The way they did it was just wonky and made absolute no sense.
I definitely agree with that.
4893. Though, Tommy, to your point, if Wrestle Dream is the last time we see Bryan Danielson in the ring, then I'll go back to you and I said, you know what? I understand why they did what they did. If they don't, I'm shaking my head. 877-344-4893. Back to the nation when Tommy and I are back right here. I'm busted open.
Before your team takes a
All right, we're gonna still be holding for a few minutes, I guess. These are their commercials, not mine. I'm not gonna play it. I'm hoping I got this so you guys can't hear their commercials, because that would be silly. Why would I do that? I'm not getting paid for that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I mean, a lot of the stuff around who's facing Bryan Danielson doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally. And Jeremy was going on about this last night watching Dynamite. Like, how does Darby still have his title shot? Like, didn't he lose that? Like, he lost to Jack Perry. Isn't that why Jack Perry got to face Bryan Danielson? No, Joe, that wasn't me on there. I was listening to what they were saying, and I was talking about it. Joe, pay attention. You got to keep up. But yeah, I mean, I thought Jack Perry's title shot was because he beat Darby. So I thought he got Jack Perry's title. I mean, he got Darby's title shot. Well, then, okay, then if it wasn't on the line against Jack Perry, why did Jack Perry get a title shot? He was already TNT champ. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess technically Bryan Danielson beat the TNT champ. Why isn't Danielson champ then? Like nothing. Like everything around this is very confusing and convoluted. It's almost like Vince booked it. it's like nonsensical 2018, 2019 WWE nonsense. Matches are great. Just I can't follow what they're doing. I just can't. I mean, can you guys live on it? You guys in the chat here? Can you follow what it is they're doing in AEW around the world? So, Darby Allin wins a title shot when he wants one. Christian Cage also wins a title shot when he wants one. Darby loses a match. His opponent got a title shot. His opponent then loses the title shot match, but keeps his title he had. Darby still has his title shot somehow, and he's going to defend it against Moxley. And then Nigel gets to have a title shot without ever having a match in AEW. And, I mean, wouldn't it make the most sense for Darby to be like, yeah, no, I'm not putting my title shot in line against you, Mox. Instead, I'm going to interject myself into this triple threat, into this match where Nigel is having his first match back against Bryan Danielson. Let me go get involved in that. And I can probably pull off a victory and not even have to beat Danielson. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. We're going to see if they get me back. If they don't get me on soon, I'm going to bail. I got things to do this Thursday.
Back here on Busted Open, Dave LaGreca, Tom Streamer. Especially to our younger audience that lives on social media, just be careful when you're on Instagram, especially Instagram Live. You know, they have those warnings for a reason. Are you sure you want to go live? Gives you a chance to think. You know what,
I go live on purpose.
I shouldn't go live in this situation. Or maybe I should. It all depends.
Is this about me being live right now?
877-344-4893, 877-593. Also, there's the old, if you got it, flaunt it. You know?
I have no idea what he's talking about here.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Old man wants Nigel to get his versus Bryan Danielson.
I don't know why he's
If
singing.
I were to guess based on what you said, Tommy, then there's a good chance that Wrestle Dream, it will be Bryan Danielson's last match. It's in Seattle.
It is in Seattle. That's in Washington.
Great way to go out on your sword.
Oh, man, that does make sense.
Seattle being your hometown, rains all the time. A lot of rain.
Sounds like Cleveland.
Depressing. Sad. A lot of flannel in Seattle. Just saying.
Insane. I'm just saying.
I'm surprised that Bryan Danielson used Europe's Final Countdown as his entrance theme in Ring of Honor. You would think it'd be one of those grunge Seattle bands.
And you'd really think he would do that, right?
Pearl Jam.
Maybe
Like,
some
he would have had a
Nirvana.
better relationship with Edge in the WWE if Pearl Jam was his, well, you know, one of their songs as his entrance theme. Soundgarden, maybe. Alice in Chains. It's a lot. If you want to go really old school, Queensryche. Queensryche's from Seattle. It could have been Best I Can off the Empire album. That would have been a great theme, like, because he's, you know.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have been really, really good.
That would have been pretty good for everybody. But he chose Final Countdown.
I'm trying.
Look at me! I'm trying. I'm going to do the best I can. One thing I guarantee.
All you can really do
when I
is
get
your
in that
best.
ring, you're going to see the best from me because I'm going to do the best I can. But he chose Final Countdown. And we might be on that Final Countdown for Bryan Danielson. Wrestle Dream.
They get 3 more
Maybe
minutes
the
to get me
last time
on.
we ever see Bryan Danielson
Maybe 4.
in a pro wrestling ring.
Total sidebar. How great would that be if Bryan Danielson, the first time he ever gets excited, not Bryan Danielson, Orange Cassidy gets excited because he got a participation trophy. His whole character doesn't care.
That'd be funny.
He so loved that he got a participation.
That should be enough for him. That should be validated.
I like Orange Cassidy.
By the way, I know a lot of people hate on like the Jericho and the Learning Tree. I said after the last couple of pay-per-views, after All In, I'm digging it. I like the segment last night with Jericho. I love the fact he's wearing.
You know, Joe,
wearing
your
his
sister
jacket
thinks
that
the
Orange-
Hi Guys
Orange
thing
has
that
through.
Jericho does is funny.
That's great. People jump on like these
Hi Guys.
bandwagons.
Yeah, she thinks that's hilarious.
At some point, you gotta admire.
And she thinks his
something.
hair looks better than it used to.
That's just me.
Yeah, he's doing a better
I
job
enjoyed
dyeing his hair.
The pennies on the Bentley, I thought was pretty entertaining, a little different. Again, Dave, like, and there is a lot of merit to what you're saying, right? I looked at it and how I have to, like I told you, I had to start thinking differently when I watched AEW for like heels, baby faces, even like when a man
That's
burns
interesting.
another man's house down and he's crying, he watches his childhood dream where we're all completely worked and the fans start chanting, "This is arson." And I'm like, what world is this I'm currently existing in?
With Moxley and the plastic bag on Danielson,
Correct.
crowd was chanting, "This is murder."
I mean,
So,
well, it kind of was,
it's
right?
just a different type of situation, different audience. You know, it's just completely different from what we're accustomed to. That's why I kind of, but then at the end of the day, like, I wasn't angry or mad or anything with some of the matches I saw. I thought we had good matches. And the main event, I was like, I wish I was like the agent for that or backstage for that, because every person that would come back through that curtain, I would have stood up and said, guys, you all worked your asses off for that. Thank you for that. It was so innovative. It was so different. Even the Young Bucks sitting up there, you know, having their entrance and watching it. That match was long and it was so unique, and everybody.
It really was good.
A tag team that literally has been doing nothing but jobs and gets the loudest ovation out of everybody in a very, very strong tag team division. But like that main event was like, and I'm like, cool. Like,
Hey Joe, who won that tag team gauntlet?
I go back.
I fell
and
asleep.
I currently still watch like a lot of old wrestling, and I'm like watching it on like Georgia Championship Wrestling. That was awesome. I'm watching current like end of Mid-Atlantic into WCW, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how did
just because I don't
think
blink
this
doesn't
was
mean I don't
great?
sleep.
If you go back and watch that, it's a little tough to do.
And it's the, you know, at the invention of the Superstation Challenge series, this new innovative thing we're going to get, and it's like Black Bart and Thunderfoot versus Jimmy Valiant and somebody else, and I'm like, oh my God, like, why did I think this was so good? And it wasn't. But like, I'm watching these shows, and I'm a much more educated person in wrestling, and I'm just like, I got good wrestling. I got a cool main event. I'm okay with it. for my whole point of I'm getting this dream match, Nigel McGuinness for Bryan Danielson, a dream match for me.
Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher.
I'm happy that Nigel's back.
That he won?
Be wrestling. Whether it's one more match, whatever, he's healthy, he's back, he's going to wrestle.
Gotta get Nigel McGuinness on, man.
I'm getting John Moxley versus Darby Allin.
That's weird.
It's going to be different. I know it's going to be good. And I actually liked their interview segment because Moxley is doing it very, very he literally tried to kill a man, but now I'm paying respect to you. And I'm bowing, and it's like, if you cross me, you know I'm going to do the same to you. And then I know
the Mox promo was fun,
so I'm okay
and
with that
the
show.
exit of the ring and all that was a good time.
I would love to be there as well in attendance, not for the match that you want to see. I just never been to Arthur Ashe, and I also want to see that environment and see how wrestling fans react to it. And I do think it's a good move for the company to try to do what? Sell tickets, because most of the times attached with AEW is then negative. And they have to get out of that negative stigma, because every time your attendance goes lower, those are things. But then you also have to say, the economy's not what it was. You can make excuses, or you could say no, because my competition is doing this. These are all things you have to balance out and weigh, and that's kind of how I look at things. So I know I'm going to get 3 really, really good wrestling matches on one show. Cool, I'm sold. I went to the Yankee game last night. I wanted to see a home run. Yay, Juan Soto hits a home run. It went to extra innings. It was in all.
Here's the thing about attending a live wrestling show. Things are better when there's less people. Just my opinion.
All right,
Jeremy agrees with me. Joe likes a crowd.
I got another walk-off. I went to a game and I got another walk-off. I've seen 2 walk-offs this year when my entire life, I never saw a walk-off home run. I got one earlier this year, and last night I had a walk-off.
I don't know anything about baseball.
What excitement. But I went to a baseball game. Hey, there's times when you're at the edge of your seat. I get it. You want to be at the edge of your seat all the time, especially
No, it doesn't have to be all the time. Sometimes they have to build
but you're
up to
heavily
the
invested in this one match. Me, I could care less about the match.
Okay. But they could.
I never saw them work.
Yeah, but that's my point. If they do,
I do not think they're going to get me on here.
You invested in that match.
They're just leaving me on hold.
Here's the other part. If I go back and watch all their matches now, you know what I'm going to do? Compare them, and then if they're off a half a step, they're this, they're that. I don't know if I want to see that.
I'm giving them 5 minutes. Maybe. Maybe I'll wait that long. I don't know if I'll wait that long, to be honest.
And someone that I like is back wrestling. I know I'm going to get something great with Bryan Danielson because he's one of the greatest. That's all. Are you giving me the finger while you're scratching your...
No, it's my index finger. It wasn't my middle finger. I would never give you the finger. That'd be disrespectful. 877, I would never disrespect you. 877-344-4893, 877-FIGHT93. A lot to get into. We have some great guests that are going to join us as well, Tommy, because we've been doing our heels conversation about heels dropping seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix coming up on Sunday.
I've never watched that show.
We started the hashtag, we had it trending, Save Heels. I want to get the hashtag Heels Season 3, the number 3. Heels Season 3. I want to get that trending. I really want the nation to get behind this show because, Tommy, seriously, that's great storytelling. Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson on Dynamite, not so much. But Heels on Netflix, this is great storytelling. This is deep. This is investment. I need to get a season 3. So we need that to happen. I want everybody to...
Joe, I don't think it's my question quality. They just had a lot of people calling in. I mean, the line was busy forever.
Here on Busted Open on Monday. But Allin Aldamato is going to join. James Harrison.
So that means their queue was just completely full.
From the show Heels. So I'm looking forward to that. I know you're a big James Harrison fan.
Pittsburgh Steelers, great.
Yeah, Allin Aldamato plays the character Rooster on Heels. He's going to join us.
I know nothing about this show.
I
Jump ship, that son of a bitch.
He did. He went to the rival organization.
Wow, spoiler alert.
And I had the Goldie T-shirt on. this morning because I'm Team Gullet. That's going to happen in 20 minutes. A little bit later on in the show. Not going to give you the time because time doesn't matter because people listen to this show on many different times. So if I change the time, you'd be confused. Wait a second, 11 o'clock? I'm listening to the show at 6 o'clock at night, 11. I gotta wait 4 hours. No. It's gonna happen in 20 minutes.
Love that you 6 and 4 equals 11.
He can't do math.
You idiot. This is what I have to deal with.
The 6 and 4 is not 11.
877-344-4893.
What's up?
Point Tommy.
On hold, trying to get on Busted Open. I've been on hold for like 20 minutes.
You don't have to wait that long. Speaking of long, shout out to Shannon Sharp. But when we come back, I'm going to go right to the Busted Open Nation. 877-344-4893. When Tommy and I are back right here.
All right, so
Yo, what's going on, Busted Open Nation? Uncle Bully here.
looks like they're going to go to a commercial break, and they're going to come right back to us.
Dynamite every Wednesday night on Busted
I'm a
Open.
strange one.
You can hear me give praise to the best
Oh, my day's going great. My name's Mark the Monster. If you're new, check us out. This is Don't Say the F Word. We are a pro wrestling and combat sports podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Usually I got some humans with me. Today it's morning coffee with Mark the Monster. If you like coffee, you can use our promo code, Don't Say the F Word. You can save 10% on fresh roasted coffee at PrinceNanaCoffee.com. That's right, that Prince Nana, the PWI #1 manager of the year. Yeah, he's our coffee plug. We can save you guys money with their coffee as well. Be sure to use that promo code, Don't Say the F Word. Save 10%, PrinceNanaCoffee.com. So it depends on what F word, to be honest with you. The F word we don't use, if you come closer, just come, you gotta come a little closer. I'll say it, I'll whisper it to you. You get closer. Do you not know how whispers work? Listen. We don't say that word. That's the word we don't say when we talk about professional wrestling. Because we respect pro wrestling and all combat sports. And it's a performing art that's a combat sport. It's the best of all the worlds. And occasionally you can see a giant monster, be a Yeti or whatever. All kinds of weird. Pro wrestling's got something for everyone. But yeah, we also cover bare knuckle fighting championships. I've interviewed yep, there you go. You figured it out. That's the F word we mean. I've interviewed like Dave Mundell. I've had conversations with David Feldman, the founder and president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. We haven't had the other owner on yet, Conor McGregor. We haven't had him on. We've had Dave Feldman on. We've had Lorenzo Hunt on. We've had Mick Terrell. We've interviewed Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon was on. We booked Flip once.
Not just a number to them. I would recommend.
Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, that's the F word we don't use. Make sure if you new to following us, check out our bio. Of course, we have the link to our merch table is in our bio. You can get yourself some really cool Don't Say the F Word merch. We have our Tsunami Physics shirt on there, paying honor to Big Bronson Reed over on Monday Night Raw. We also have the Don't Say the F Word shopping bag. That's new. That's a new one. Couple Mark the Monster shirts are there. The big guy, Joe and Jeremy, they're there. Who cares about their merch? Buy Mark the Monster stuff. I'm your emotional support monster. Even though we've just met, I can be your emotional support monster. It'll be fine. But yeah, I called in the Busted Open. We've been on there a few times, talking to Dave LaGreca, Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray. No, you don't say botch. Yeah, you know what? We actually rarely ever talk about botches on the show because, you're performing live on TV. Like, botches happen. It's going to happen. It's not a big deal. Everyone has a rough day at work, so we don't like to put wrestlers on blast for that. The big guy, Jeremy, now sometimes if something's really, really bad, he'll call it out. But he will, encompass it in some positivity. But yeah, sometimes things are just awful. The Shockmaster was awful. I don't know if that's a botch though. Does that count as a botch, the Shockmaster thing? I feel like it probably isn't a botch. I feel like it's just bad. Bad. Sometimes bad, whatever, Can't be positive about everything. Roman Reigns is my tribal chief. I recognize Roman. I was the first one to call that Solo was going to turn on Roman. I figured that was the whole reason Solo was there in the beginning. But at our merch table, you can get yourself a shirt that has Roman versus Solo, and we use the bad guy, mean face with the patch as a tough guy, and Solo with a clean-shaven baby face.
Like a certain age, it's hard to say Neil Young when you're like.
We're gonna see. Maybe they'll get me on. I'm not waiting much longer. I gotta pee.
They're not. They should just drop the Young and just be the Bucks.
You know what? I agree with that. The Young Bucks should absolutely just be the Bucks. They are not young anymore. Oh, heck yeah. Mark the Monster is your tribal chief? Well, I can tell you this much. I'm furrier than you, and you know it. I haven't used that line in a while. I am Mark the Monster. Technically, my full government name is Mark the Monster Clementine. I don't really put my last name out there very much to people, to be honest. End up with stalkers and people following me around, staring at me.
How many times you did that up until marriage?
Really hope they get me on the show.
But that's what
I
I'm
don't know.
talking about.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Talk, do not communicate, then you're going to be miserable. And
There we go. Mark the Monster is somebody's tribal chief. We gotta get that shirt made.
Communicate, because listen, two people who are partners are never going to get along.
That'd be an interesting. I wonder if I get in trouble for that shirt. Is that gimmick infringement?
I'm going to tell you why I'm upset. And I would hope that you would do the same thing for me.
Joe, I'm not using your name. So Elmo's cool. Elmo's not my rival. He's a nice guy. Oscar the Grouch, also surprisingly very nice guy. Here's a little secret for you about Oscar the Grouch. Oscar the Grouch was also orange. Yep. Oscar used to look a lot like me. He went swimming in a swamp, turned green. You can go ahead, Joe, you can Google that. And yeah. Oscar was green like me. I mean, was orange like me, and now he's green. It's not easy being green. Kermit taught me that. Now, I've never lived on that street those guys live on. I've been through that neighborhood, though. I've been around there. I used to DoorDash there a long time ago before I got this gig on this podcast.
Or do you want somebody who's close to you to say, hey, you know what? There's something.
I don't think they're getting to me on this radio show.
Here's some things that you need to work on. Tommy, don't you want somebody who loves you and is honest? Don't you want them to tell you when you're doing something wrong? Obviously,
everybody wants to know when they're doing something wrong.
The AEW product. They need to recognize and understand, all right, there are things that our fans just don't like right now because we're losing our audience.
See,
why is that?
I don't know if that's true.
I would think you would want to know. I'm not hating on AEW.
But is AEW decreased in viewership and ticket sales? Yeah, sure.
I watch every week.
So, am I a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels guy? Oh, man. So, like, Bret, whenever Bret was in the ring, Bret's hard to top, right? But post-wrestling career, Bret seems really bitter, right? I mean, he kind of hates everybody. And I just don't like that negativity. Shawn at least owns that he was a jerk previously and has tried to be better, which is good. It's always good to be better.
These are things that I think need to change.
But I do like Bret's in-ring.
The talent's there.
But man, it's hard to, like, who was better? Let's go 1996. Who in-ring was better, Shawn or Bret? That's hard to say, right? If you go back and watch things on the network and you trying to run those against each other, man, who's better? Now, Booker T and Triple H, good rivalry. Booker's the man. Joe's a big Booker fan. Illegal Brother-in-Law Joe is one of the hosts of the show. He's usually here. He's down there in the comments with you. Joe's a big Booker, big Triple H fan. I really do not think they're going to get me on. I might have to call back tomorrow.
But yes, right now, things need to make a change in certain areas.
Being put on hold for this amount of time, we would never do that. Yeah, so Eddie and Ray Halloween Havoc 97 was great. Also, Ray's ring gear at Halloween Havoc 97 was awesome. And the fact that he still had that It was really cool.
Should be better, but then
That was some cool stuff.
Where, you know, if you go to 55, I've had, I'll talk from my own personal experience. I've gone from a sold-out ECW arena for my own House of Hardcore. Then the next show I do was a sold show, and it was out in the middle of the field.
So let me ask you guys live in the comments here on Instagram, and you folks on YouTube or Spotify, wherever. Do you care if the arena's sold out when you're watching wrestling on TV?
So bad, right? But
my Mount Rushmore on Raw and right now, who I think are the 4 top on each show.
Say you do an arena. Sell it out.
Like on Raw right now, we got.
Same arena, and it's half.
I'm gonna have to. Of course, we got to go Gunther,
Why is
Braun Breaker,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bronson
saying.
Reed,
Like,
and Chad Gable. That's Raw. That's right. That's like the top 4 Raw. I would throw Seth in. I mean, Seth's been out, so I can't put Seth in there, right? Yeah, it doesn't seem right. SmackDown, man, you got Cody, Jacob Fatu. Not just because he hasn't done a lot of SmackDown, but go watch MLW. Go see what Jacob Fatu is about. I mean, he's a menace. Like Jacob Fatu is absolutely a menace. LA Knight, yeah, LA Knight's great, and Carmelo. Carmelo's really good on SmackDown.
WrestleMania with no fans.
Orton's great, but Orton's bounced back and forth, right? I mean, Orton's a GOAT. He's somewhere above Rushmore, right?
Because obviously people are tuning out, people aren't buying.
We've been liking Andrade and Carmelo lately. Big guy Jeremy, main host of the show, he has never been a fan of Andrade, but he's really enjoying Andrade and Carmelo.
I felt 3 good Dynamites in a row leading up.
So I agree with Tommy Dreamer here. There has been a lot of great Dynamites lately.
We were making that turn, and you and I discussed it. Like, it feels different. But then where were they? They were overseas. They were, like, those are different things. And then guess what? But the ratings didn't really translate that. So this is these are all the hard.
For me, Tommy, 3 years ago, this show was must-watch. I had to tune in.
I do agree.
I had to tune into this show. It was the best show. It was better than Raw. It was better than SmackDown. AEW Dynamite.
Top rivalries. Man, we need to just do a show on top rivalries.
We would come on the air the next day, and I wouldn't know where to start.
Punk and Cena was great.
We had no problem for 3 hours.
The Cena RVD, just because of ECW One Night Stand, was cool.
What was the first official Busted Open After Dark with Bully? Was After Dynamite. We needed to have Busted Open After Dark immediately after that because there was
Batista Triple H was. Yeah, I agree with you there. Batista Triple H was good, just especially it had a fairy tale ending for Batista. Absolutely fairy tale ending. Really loving Hangman and Swerve. Our Hangman Swerve shirt is both of them being tough guys. They're 2 bad men, real bad men, and I think that's a rivalry for the ages. They will never not hate each other, and that's great.
And if it's not, then you got to figure out why. Why isn't it as good as it was 3 years ago? And how can we make it as good as it was 3 years ago? So all those people that were coming to our show.
And so right now, on Busted Open, they're saying that AEW is not as good as it was 3 years ago.
We want those people back. How do we get those people back?
I think it's better, actually.
I'm not shitting on AEW. I'm just trying to figure out what they can do better so that it gets to being where they were 2 or 3 years ago.
The good thing.
Man, Kurt and Benoit was a good match. I mean, Benoit was a great in-ring performer. That's not more important than the terrible things that he did, though. Like, that's important to mention. Like, people put him in the Hall of Fame, blah 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 blah. Like, no, like you don't just know. What he did was there's no. Like, he's not here to even make amends. He didn't pay for anything. He made decisions.
And how these shows have been.
I mean, I think there's no way, like, as fans, I don't even know if it's even right to even have an opinion, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the character we all seen on TV who did the awful things.
We could say the same thing. It's opposite now, but NXT was a rough watch. at times.
I have a feeling they're not going to get me on to Busted Open before I got a split.
How was the turnaround?
They're going to give them a couple more minutes to get me on, but
I'm not saying we removed Tony Khan.
I'm going to just say this.
Vince McMahon's
AEW has been great. There has definitely its ups and downs, just like WWE. WWE has ups and downs. There were years where it wasn't great. That's a fact. And there's been periods of time where AEW wasn't great. Also a fact. But right now, it's really, really good. WWE is really, really good. Joe's our NXT guy. Joe says NXT, really, really good. TNA, really, really good. The NWA, man, who knows, right? But like, it's just, pro wrestling is great. It's in a great spot. It's a great time to be a fan. We look at other combat sports, man. Like, BKFC is great. I feel like UFC is in a lull right now. They're at the bottom. They don't really have a lot of stars. But BKFC is fantastic. Mike Perry's putting his own fight promotion together. That's great. Oh man, if you're a Mick Foley fan, you need to be watching us whenever Jeremy's on. He has been obsessed with Mick Foley since he was like 15 years old. He is a Foley Cactus Jack fan. Like, probably even younger. He's probably younger than Joe. You knew Jeremy when he was a kid. Like, I don't know. He's been a Mick Foley fan forever. He was an old school ECW guy. He's told tons of stories about how he would go about getting to watch ECW back in the 90s because it wasn't broadcast in Cleveland. So he had this whole system of rabbit ears that he would do.
And turn it around. If you don't address the problem, then you're never going to turn it around.
Oh man! Oh my God! Moment in wrestling. For me, Mark the Monster personally, I was pretty shocked by the whole shopping bag thing at All Out. I didn't see that coming.
I'm getting 3 good matches. Grand Slam.
I was pretty surprised when the Hardy Boys came back to WWE. That was a shocker. But as far as like an in-ring thing,
and again, I'm giving you an example of you can make Nigel
man,
McGuinness.
it's been so much crazy stuff. The pizza cutter on Jericho on AEW, that was crazy.
You want to see that you have to see. It's right there in front of you, and I feel like
I mean, Cena getting taken to Suplex City was crazy. When you really think about it, I mean, he ate a lot of suplexes.
Season 3 of Heel, and we're going to talk to James Harrison and Allin Maldonado when Tommy and I are back right here.
All right, so it looks like they're going to their guest. I am not going to stay on hold while they go to a guest. We are going to, that's the thing with Busted Open. It's become such a hot show. I think Jeremy's first time being on Busted Open was probably like 2019. And we get on there often. We try to get on there for our morning coffee sometimes and talk to those guys. I think we got a good relationship, but a lot of people call them. Like, they have a lot of calls on hold. It's crazy. Yeah, the Punk and Jeff rivalry and they got really personal. They did a lot of good stuff there. Yeah, Punk and Jeff Hardy was good stuff. Like, Punk and the WWE counts as a rivalry to me. It's weird that he's back. That's honestly my OMG moment. For me, Mark the Monster personally, is CM Punk returning to WWE. Like, you just look at the chain of events. His return to AEW, how crazy that was. Just that he was coming back. And his promo. And how emotional the crowd was. And then everything that happened in AEW. You got to hear Jeremy go on about this. Jeremy and Joe have talked about this multiple times. And they just go... And Jeremy's like, I don't know. He's a Punk fan, but not necessarily a Phil fan, which is interesting. But then he shows up back in WWE, which, I mean... Everything kind of looked like that's what he was trying to do. But when it happened, when he got there and his music hit, that moment to me, Mark the Monster, that right now is my top OMG moment in pro wrestling. And with that, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Drop comments, let us know, tag us, post clips of your favorite OMG moment, and tag the Don't Say the F Word podcast, hashtag Mark the Monster. Let us see this. And, later on this weekend, Sunday, is our weekend wrestling show. We'll go over some of those things we got tagged in, talk about those moments, how Jeremy and Joe felt about them. And don't forget, promo code Don't Say the F Word for some Prince Nana Coffee. Save 10%. And our merch table, link in the bio. My new shirt, I have ADHD. That's attention deficit. Ooh, hey, donuts. That shirt of mine, that's out there. Tons of cool stuff. Go check it out. When you guys place an order, hey, maybe just share it. Screenshot the shirt you got. Tag us in it. We want to know who's getting our merch, what states it's in. Are we getting stuff to other countries? We have some fans over in the UK. I want to know if you guys got some merch. Oh yeah. This Sunday, if we had the pencil, we are rewriting pro wrestling history. This Sunday, the show is focused. This segment is going to be focused on if Sting had been the third man in the NWO. Jeremy and Joe are going to write how they would have booked the NWO story with Sting as the third man. That should be interesting, especially since Jeremy wasn't a fan of Sting ever being part of the NWO. So that'll be interesting to hear how he thinks this could have gone. But everyone, thank you for spending a bit of your morning with me, Mark the Monster, as I had some morning coffee. I tried to get on Busted Open. That didn't work out. But I hope you guys have a great Thursday. Be here Sunday. It'll be, I don't know. Follow us on Instagram. We'll let you know what time. Probably going to be a little earlier because we're going to have a lot to cover. So maybe around 4:30. We'll see. But thank you for checking us out live on Instagram. Everybody who's been on YouTube and Spotify, we appreciate you guys being there, but Instagram is the fun spot. It's where I can get away playing copyrighted music and not get in trouble. Just going to put that out there. Didn't do any today, but hey, in the future, you never know, I might. And thank you. Make sure you check us out. Thank you, everyone who has just been introduced to me, Mark the Monster, and the Don't Say the F Word podcast crew. Thank you for checking us out. We will be back over the weekend. Everyone, have a great Thursday. We'll see you again soon. Bye.